screen. And we're live! Hello! Let me just turn on my camera. Wait, can I... Is there a way to, like, share my camera so you can see my screen?
Share screen button next to the turn on camera button or the controller icon.
Okay, hold on, let me just find that. Share. Yeah, I like to share. Select which one to share. This one. Okay,
Alright.
now you can see the tier list, right?
Yes, I can. Let me
Okay!
just full screen this. That's a lot of plants.
Yeah, that's why I decided to like make two separate tiers. One saying non-flowers, where we just put the plants that are absolutely not flowers in,
Yeah.
and maybe flowers, which is a plant that we either can or can't decide on flowers.
Okay.
But let's just talk about the rest of the tiers. First, we got trash flower, which is flowers that are very trash, and it's advised for you to never use it. Just never use it. Don't bother. Kinda bad, which is like kinda bad of a flower. Not too bad. Still can be useful, but still pretty bad. Mid flower, which is a okay type of flower.
Yeah.
An okay flower, which is like better than mid. Like mid is like a flower that's like a 50-50. Okay, it's like better than 50-50. A great flower is like a flower that is pretty great on your team and all. But OP flower is like the flower that is so broken that will carry most of your game.
You mean flowers?
Yeah, flowers. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I'm just realizing on your screen there's no me on there. There's a lack of Maxy-Lucky. I only see you in a chair, and not a me. There's no me on there. Oh well.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's alright.
Anyway, I kind of didn't know how would I work this. Wait, I think I have an idea.
Yeah. What's the idea?
Hold on, I try something. I thought I could split screen this. Hold on. Maybe if I do this. Drag. Wait, hold on. Why is my okay? Maybe if I okay, do this and and I do. Let's just talk about this and there we go. Steam is still running. Okay, there we go. I wonder if I can full screen this. No options. And just I don't know how to deal with this, but oh well. Wait, I think I do. Let me just. Okay, there we go. I wonder if I can.
You didn't have to do that specific. It's all right.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking. You didn't. I'm all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
So I'm just ignore this for now. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, time to do the tier list, starting with sunflower. Sunflower is like your ordinary. That you were talking. Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. You can talk first. You're the host guy.
Yeah, you're right. So let's start with sunflower. Sunflower is like the early flower plant that you get from the beginning of the very beginning, besides pea shooter, where what it does, it produces sun for you, which is pretty simple. But most players use sunflower, but so far over time sunflower can get overshadowed, like twin sunflower, primal sunflower, and other flower plants that can produce sun, except sunshroom. That's not a flower, that's a mushroom. What do you think about sunflower?
You know, sunflower is a pretty decent plant, since it's kind of one of the first plants you're given in the start of the game. I say it's really necessary to have this plant, because yeah, you have no sun otherwise, except from the sky, but who even goes outside anymore?
Yeah.
Also, Sunflower reminds me of the song Sunflower by Post Malone. I
Yeah,
don't remember the song because I never listened to it.
I do. It's called "There's a Zombie on Your Lawn."
I
There's a
said
zo-
Post Malone, not.
oh, uh, sorry.
Oh, whatever.
I was thinking of a different Sunflower song
Yeah,
you
I
sang.
know. Sunflower, Zombie on Your Lawn. I know that song.
I would
Anyways,
say
I
some.
say
Uh,
you.
uh, can I talk?
Yeah, you can talk.
I would say like Sunflower would be like a okay flower. Well, actually, since Sunflower's more like depended on the, actually it would just stay as okay. Since
I personally disagree. Of Sunflower, yes, on its own is terrible, but it's a good stalling shield in the beginning of the game.
oh yeah, I probably should mention that. So it should be more of a great tier than instead.
Yeah.
Let me just put this walnut here. Next up, we got Twin Sunflower. Basically, Sunflower's more expensive yet more easily uh, better brother or sister or whatever. What it does, it produces not one but two sun, but only in the cost of 125 sun for some reason. You would think that two sunflowers would cost like 100 sun because 50 plus 50 equals 100, but no, apparently it's just at 25 more, I guess. So,
Double Sunflower or Twin Sunflower is more like a scam that you don't really want. I barely use it at all, and most of the times I use it as a shield.
I just like plant one twin sunflower and call it a day. So basically, twin sunflower would be an okay flower, surprisingly. Let me just put the rest
Yeah,
of these
agreed.
here. I mean, when you tried using like this spike weed, you kind of got conflicted on if it's a flower or not.
Yeah.
So do we just put in a maybe
I
flower?
say maybe a flower. Yeah.
Yeah, Troy.
No, make it its own tier because
Oh,
it's overpowered at all.
good idea. Hold on. And below.
Everyone who doesn't know, Grave Buster is the first plant that caused a lot of issues due to people commenting that flowering plants are not exactly flowers. And yes, I had to look it up, and I apologize because it turns out flowering plants are not exactly flowers, but they're just the sprouts that grow into the vegetable.
Really? I did not know that.
Neither did
Anyway,
I. That's why I looked it up.
anyway, so, Bloomerang. It sucks. I absolutely hate this plant. Not only it costs like the same as a weed peter, but I still remember the fateful time when I tried using it as plant food to kill a buckethead, and it did not do what a plant food is supposed to do. And better yet, instead of using a bloomerang, you better just go cough up $5 to PopCap for a cactus, which is a flower plant, and a way better plant than this stupid bloomerang. I'll gladly put this
Cactus
bloomerang in trash
City.
tier. What do you think about bloomerang?
I say Bloomerang sucks in the late game. In the early game, though, it is a heavy carry, considering it's the only attacking plant in that entire world. Of course, you could ditch it after Pirate Seas after you get the Chad. What was it called again?
Snapdragon?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I would say, so let's just put it in like kinda bad. Because it's good in the first game, but late game is absolutely hot garbage. Anyway,
Yeah,
just skip these.
fully agree.
It's Spikeweed, you goes here.
Spikeweed was allowed, I think, but I'm not sure. Let's
I,
just put it in maybe.
okay, maybe a flower. Spike Rock is just
Yeah,
rocks.
Black
Coconut,
Rock is just rocks, yeah.
cherry. Uh, Snapdragon. So Snapdragon is a pretty good flower plant. Its plant food can actually kill a gargantua, something better
Hmm.
than a bloomerang can. It has strike
Yep.
through, splash damage, can attack like the first like 2 lanes, and it's all a good plant, flower plant. What do you think about Snapdragon?
Personally, without Snapdragon, both of our runs probably be impossible. Why? Well, you're forgetting the fourth world, which is an ice world. You know what thing Snapdragon does, he makes sure that your plants don't get frozen. Without Snapdragon, I'm pretty convinced that Frosty Cave or something isn't possible.
Yeah,
Frostbite Cave, thank you.
yeah. Funny enough, I didn't know that Snapdragon was a flower. So before I realized Snapdragon was a flower, I was trying I was trying to get myself Meteor Flower because it's basically I thought it was the only fire flower plant. Turns out I was wrong. Snapdragon exists. So I put this Snapdragon in great tier. Not too OP, because we're saving it for his cooler brother. Get it? Because ice.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
know.
moving on.
Cold.
Next up, we got Lightning Weed. Lightning Weed is a great plant. If you spam the living heck out of it, it can attack, like, if you plant enough Lightning Weeds, it can probably carry your whole one. If you can actually spam it, since it kind of favors, this game kind of favors more the zombies or whatever. But still, a great plant. It easily can take care of, like, the chicken wigglers and a million chickens. And, yeah. Your opinion on Lightning Weed?
Lightning Reed, the lightning plant. It's cheap and efficient when in groups. Standalone, though, I don't think it will survive a zombie wave. It's also, like you said, really handy for dealing with those pesky chickens and those weasels because they suck.
Yeah. So it would be, where we put in a great plant or okay?
I personally think it's okay.
Yeah. Putting the rest in here. Flower. Damn, there's a lot of these. Iceberg,
Yeah.
none of these are flowers. Okay, next up we got the lost something. I forgot what his name is.
Lost City.
Yeah, Lost City. And the Lost City has like a lot of flower plants. We have a total record of 3. Yeah, but the record is gonna be broken
Actually,
soon.
actually, a key is not a flower. I looked it up, and it's actually a fruit.
Wait,
But it looks like a flower, so we're counting it.
yeah, absolutely. So starting with the coolest flower plant known to man, Red Stater, and Red Stater is like Repeater, but better, because it also can become a walnut if you plant it further in the lawn, or yeah, and also it costs 150 sun, basically like a cheaper Repeater that can turn into like a walnut anytime. So this plant should be going to a great flower, or even OP in fact. But what do you think about Red Stainer?
Red Stinger, the silver bullet of my run, considering it's the best plant that I've used, next to Snapdragon, of course. It is a really good plant, and of course, like you said, good for also attacking, but also for stalling. Though I don't really use it for stalling because I'm more of an attacking kind of guy.
Say,
And yes, I do agree it should be put in OP because come on,
yeah,
who doesn't use Red Stinger after they unlock them? I mean,
yeah.
come on, be honest.
Next up, we got, now speaking of stalling, we got Stalia. This this is like iceberg lettuce, but a bit more weaker since instead of freezing the zombies, it just slows them down. But it does kind of, but it does do it slows them down like a 3x3 radius if I remember correctly. And with the low price of 0, you can use this perfume plant that came before the actual perfume plant. So I would put in like a great flower because they're just more of a staller than anything. What do you think?
I personally agree with all your points. It's good, it's free, and it's stalling. Except it could be a bit better. Because I feel like the stalling time slows down every single world, and I don't know why.
Really? I never really noticed. Anyway, skipping the
No,
leaf.
it feels like it.
Oh. Anyway, next up is Akia. Basically, one of the probably the only protein flower plants, oh, except for another one that we gonna talk about later. Akia is apparently isn't a flower, but we're counting it because it kind of is. Anyway, so what it does is like shoots like 3 seed things or whatever it's called, and it hits the zombie, but also it bounces to the next zombie, then to the next zombie, and yada yada. So basically, it's a okay pulting plant, but I don't really use it that much, surprisingly, since I mostly like the red stain more. So I would say it was put in like a okay type of flower. What do you think?
The autonomous catapulting ejectomatic emitter is a pretty decent plant, though I've never used it ever since Lost City due to the kind of feedback slash backlash I got after using him in Lost City, which I do plan to do again without a key.
Really? I never really get backlash of using this flower, so if there's any plants
Well, I
that
mean, backlash. It was just like, don't use a key. It's a fruit. Don't do that.
uh,
No, he's not a flower. It's a fruit. Look it up.
hold on. Let me do some testing on my uh, yeah, I spelled the name wrong. PvZ2
Not a flower. It's a fruit. Look it up.
Anyway, let's see, yada yada. Kia origins. It is based off of. Oh my gosh, you're right. It is a fruit.
Yeah.
It's-
So
Huh. I
yeah.
did not know that. Can't
Same.
believe this whole time I thought Key was a flower.
Yeah. Me too.
Now,
But hey, it's a flower-looking plant, so it counts as the rules.
yeah, I guess. Anyway, time for another plant that may or may not be confusing, being a flower or not. We got Blover. This Blover confuses the living heck out of me. Like, I know there's like a flower form out there, like somewhere. Like, but to me, it's more of like leaves because look at it. There's no buds. There's no anything. I mean, those are even petals. Those are straight up leaves. What it does, it blows like airborne zombies away. And usually it's OP with like Spring Bean back in the day, but we're talking about flower plants, and Spring Bean is definitely not a flower. It's a bean. So Blover, I would just put in like a maybe flower for me. What do you think?
Well, blower is only really useful in far future. After that, it really blows. F
Yeah,
tier.
yeah, but to me, I'm just gonna put a maybe flower because I cannot decide if it's
Yeah.
a flower or not.
Well,
Anyway,
I did do a poll about that, and I'm pretty sure it was counted as a flower.
ah,
At
well,
least that's what the people said.
I still didn't use it because I didn't bother it. Anyway, next up is a bunch of mushrooms. Yeah, uh, and then we got this.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently
Um,
did a poll about him, and most of the people agree that it's not a flower.
out of 254 people, 78% agreed that it was a flower.
70.
How many that is, I have no idea.
Wait, so celery stalker is a flower?
No, blower.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. Anyway, let me just move here. One thing that surprised me the most is like time warp not counting as a flower. And I was like, how is it not a flower? Like, look at it! Yeah, those are like the petals and everything. But no, apparently it's not a flower. So I guess I just put it here. Anyway, man, the non-flowers are going to be filled up to the brim. Anyway, next up we got Primal Sunflower. Basically, the cooler version of the sunflower. It costs 75 sun and it gives you 75 sun in return. I don't know how the heck is this plant is like OP, but surprisingly it is. So this plant deserves it as OP tier, right next to Red Stainer. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Though I've not really used it that often due to me being currently stuck on level 20, 24, I believe. Yeah, I'll probably use this eventually, though it is really good. Also, from the time warp one, yeah, it's not a flower. Conveniently, out of 700 13 people. 54% of the people said no, it's not a flower.
Yeah, surprisingly. Anyway,
For the record, the highest poll was for Hurricane with 794.
basically the lettuce version of Plover, and pretty cooler.
Yeah.
Anyway, lily pad. Uh, sorry to all the lily pad fans out there, if there's any, but it's kind of a trash flower. One day, surprisingly, I realized when one time I planted lily pad, I really like planting lily pad in like a different like time area thing, a different level to see if it would be give me that. Sorry, you can't plant lily pad there. You need to plant it in water or something. But no, you can actually plant lily pad on land in different worlds. Pretty surprising and weird. But other than that, lily pad is only useful in like one world, big wave beach, and all it does is just lets you plant a plant in on the water. So it kind of goes in trash because it's only useful in one world. What do you say about lily pad?
Well, I've actually never used the Lilipad ever since I'm still currently stuck in Jurassic March.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, from what I've heard, it sucks.
yeah. You can only use it in one world. Anyway, now let's talk about the level that I've managed to beat through, but you sadly can't. The next one
Lol.
being modern day. Talking about some of the greatest flowers. We got honestly I don't know what this one flower plant is,
I
but
think
surprisingly most of these are flowers, except for you. You're a mushroom. I'm sorry, but you identify as a
get out of
mushroom,
here.
therefore you can't use you. Anyway, starting up with I forgot your name is hold on.
Dust Club or something?
Oh yeah, Dustclob. I'm pretty sure it was that. Anyway, Dustclob is a pretty OP pulting flower plant because apparently it's used in like the PvZ tournaments or something. And I can see why. With like the power of like moon shadow, like flower moon or whatever, it can do like splash damage. Basically like a melon pult, but probably cheaper. So it deserves to go in like OP tier. And also is like moon, his shadow moon variant. Actually, Dustclop alone is like a okay flower, but Power by the Moon is like an OP flower. Next up, Nightshade.
I've actually never used Dust Lobber, so I wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
Maybe I
Nightshade.
should. Need
It,
more.
it, sorry. It, anyway, Nightshade. Basically, what it does is send zombies to the Shadow Realm, one-shotting them, and apparently it can one-shot Gogs, but I wouldn't know because the last time I tried getting Nightshade to attack a God, it doesn't work. So maybe they patched it or something. But with Power of the Moonflower, it gets like 3 one-shots. So I'm just gonna put Nightshade in like normal Nightshade in mid flower because it can only one shot one zombie, and put you in like great because you can one shot like 3 zombies. And you won't be
Yes,
able.
I agree.
Huh?
I agree. Honestly, I would probably not have beaten. What was the New York Neon Mixtape Tour without it.
Yeah, I think you should use it for like Jurassic Park just in case.
March.
Yeah, Jurassic Marsh. Anyway, next up we got the Moonflower. Powered alone, it's kind of bad. I'm just gonna put this here. But powered together, it can create multiple sun, which probably get overshadowed with Primal Flower if it wasn't for a second ability where it can power up Shadow plants, which most of them are flowers. So obviously it goes to a great flower. What do you think?
I learned something funny while doing it in the Neon Mixtape Tour. After completing the world, I looked up, and apparently that Sunflower recharges when you can reuse it again in 5 seconds. You want to guess how long it takes for Moonflower to recharge?
How long?
20 seconds.
20 seconds?
Basically, I beat Neon Mixtape Tour with a way slower loading Moonflower Sunflower.
And that's why it deserves to go in great tier, right next to Sunflower. Anyway, it's plant food. Gives it a shield, I guess. I'm just gonna put it right there because I barely used the shield. Anyway, next up we
Same.
got Nightcap, this thing. I don't know what his name is. But apparently there's like 4 variants of this guy. This one on its
Yeah.
own is kind of mid, because although it can attack like 3 times, that's how long it can attack, much it can attack. It doesn't get the ability to recharge unless it's like powered up by a Moonflower. Its plant food does a lot more damage, but still kind of mid. It's actually put in okay. You know what? I'm just gonna put this right here because although it's there. Okay, let me explain. You can only be used like 3 times. You're stronger, but still can only attack 3 times. You can attack as many times you want, and you do the same thing, but as him, but attacks a bit stronger like him. And those are my reasonings.
You know, I agree on thing, except I don't believe that Nightcap should be, the original at least, should be a mid. I think it should be worse, considering it doesn't even attack range, and it doesn't even attack Graves.
Oh yeah, good point. I'm just gonna put you right here. Kinda bad. Actually,
Just kind of bad.
okay. So I would just put in that case, I would just move them down a bit, because although I kind of don't really use you, but dude, like a cheap pea shooter. Okay, you're just gonna stay there. Moving on, electric pea go right. Cactus. This plant helped me with most of my time. I basically spam the walls of like creating Cactus City to the very first time when I used it, where I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna use Bloomerang. I'm just gonna fork over $5 for a cactus. This thing is great. Not only it can strike through zombies, but also when a zombie gets close to it, it can just go underground and act like a spike rock or a spike weed. And it can even pop balloon zombies, which I managed to do. So I'm just gonna put you in a great flower, but its plant field is way better because it can, because although a normal cactus can like strike through like what 3 or 4 zombies, plant food cactus can strike through like multiple zombies. So put you in OP. So what do you think about cactus?
Cactus. Never used the plant in my life, and probably never am going to, considering it costs money. I don't like giving out money. That's just a personal thing.
Oh,
So yeah, for me, it would just go in F tier. But yeah, it is pretty decent.
But this is like if someone's like willing to fork over money for it. Anyway, cauliflower. Probably not costing money or whatever. Apparently, this thing is a flower, which I did not notice until I.
Well, yeah, it's flower in the name.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, oh yes, oh yeah, cauliflower, a plant that has the word flower in the name, not a flower. Why did I thought it was a flower? Anyway, this thing can hypnotize like any kind of zombie, but the only downside is very random. And this plant food can just yeet the zombies off the map, except for guards, apparently. Although it's kind of random, although it can hypnotize zombies, it's pretty random, so it deserves to go in great tier just for it. Basically, to balance out with his whole thing with hypnotizing any zombie, despite it being random. What do you think about cauliflower? And I bet you never used it.
Cauliflower. Actually, you're wrong. I have used it, but not in the game. I think it's pretty alright, although it's kind of awkward. It's just there, floating, just being itself, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, I've never used this at an actual game, more like for events. And no, it's actually it's a flower, and we're not just using it because of the Shagrock Caves all nuts rule or something.
Yeah. Anyway, apple border goes in here. Apparently, Chomp is a flower because Chomp is a Venus flytrap, and Venus on flytraps are apparently flowers, which is another thing I did not know. Anyway, Chomper eats a zombie. It eats two zombies now, and although it in some stances is strong, some people say it's an OP plant, others say it's hot garbage. I'm kind of in the middle of it. On one hand, you can hit two, one hit KO like two most zombies. But the other hand, it's, well, a lot of people it doesn't like it. So I'm just gonna put in like a mid flower, to be honest. What's your opinion on Champa?
Just say whatever you said and repeat it as my answer because I agree.
Oh, okay. Snapdragon. This is ice cold Snapdragon. The cooler brother of Snapdragon. Very OP. Basically does what Snapdragon does, but instead of burning the zombies, it slows them down. Literally OPest plant ever. It carried most of my runs. Your opinion on Snapdragon?
My opinion on Snapdragon, well, it's the cooler Snapdragon, both literally and subjectively, considering it's cold. Cold Snapdragon, you have saved my runs also. But yeah, I'm still stuck in Jurassic March, and you really have not helped me on that one. Then again, I don't really get you quite often.
Yeah. So I would
But
just
I
put
do agree it's OP.
okay. Okay, put you here, put you here. Okay, Gold Bloom. Basically, uh, let me just make this frank. Basically, you just place it, you get instantly like 400 sun, and it's very cheap. But the only downside is it takes forever for it to like recharge. But that's okay because when you first start the game, it instantly fully charged. So you could just turn one place Gold Bloom and set up your defense through that way. Very OP, and I can see why people use Gold Bloom in like tournaments and all. Your opinion on Gold Bloom? And I guess you're never gonna use it.
Actually, you're wrong. I have used it once, though it
Oh,
didn't really work out.
oh,
But hey, it's free sun. What can you not say about free? You know, I once got robbed once. No, it was free, and I would have probably had it again if I was robbed again for free. Not in real life, though. So, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, just put you here. The I'm just gonna. Why is there so many of these non-flowers? Uh,
Popcat should really just remove all the non-flowers.
exactly. Anyway, Power Lily, which is something that later likes to put like a Lily's hat from Pokemon onto it for some reason because Power Lily, Lily from Pokemon both have Lily in it. Anyway, Power Lily gives you extra plant food. That's about it. It kind of goes into great tier. What's your opinion on Power Lily?
Never used it, so I don't have an opinion. For what I've heard, yeah, it gives you one power-up thing. Cool. Except that all the zombies that I see also probably have that ability.
Oh yeah.
Also, it's probably called plant food, but whatever.
Eh. I'm
So
just gonna.
yeah, I do believe it is good, but it's a bit too much.
You're
An
right.
okay flower is pretty right with me.
Okay, I would just put an okay flower. Okay, put you here, 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 put you here. Next up, we got Witch Hazel. And to be honest, I would say this flower is the absolute worst for me. Hear me out on this, hear me out. Its ability is to turn a zombie into a mushroom. And you know what's the point of doing a plant for the zombies only one for? To only use flower plants. So this plant is literally, purposely sabotaging a flower one, by making us use mushroom plants. Literally, its plant food is turning it into a zombie, into a toadstool. A toadstool! So I would put this in like a trash flower. if you're if you're
Actually, the
res-
rules say that we're only allowed to plant flowers. Never says anything that the flowers have to follow our rules.
uh, actually, you do have a point there. But most of the mushrooms are pretty strong. Like mushroom, really, it kind of wears off over time since it got nerfed. So I just put this thing in mid. Your opinion on Hazel?
I'm looking up something on Witch Hazel real quick.
Okay. If I do that, I'm just gonna put the non-flowers in the non-flower tier. Gosh, there's a lot of these.
Okay, so I just looked it up, and if you level up Witch Hazel, it apparently also turns the zombies into fume shrooms, and later on, that's literally actually it. And yeah, plant food gives it toadstool or even hypno shroom. Did not know about all those things, but yeah, cool, I guess. Except we're not allowed to level them up, so it's
Yes.
pointless.
Yeah. The only plant that I purposely leveled up was Bloom Away because that's how bad it is, in my opinion. So I'm just gonna put the Witch Hazel in mid tier. Anyway, next up, this
Right?
thing. Uh, uh, okay, my Alexa went off for some reason. Anyway, this Thorn Bolt something. I don't know. Basically, the cactus is like younger brother. And what it does, it works like a cactail. It shoots homing thistle. Oh my gosh, I just realized his name. It's literally homing thistle. Anyway, homing it shoots homing thistles at like zombies, and its plant food is pretty strong and all. So I'm just gonna put this baby into like OP tier, if it didn't cost so much, because homing thistle cost. How much does it cost? Homing
I think
thistle.
250.
Let's see. Uh, yeah, 250. It costs a lot. So I probably should put it down because of it. What do you think about homing thistle?
Only Thistle's good at taking out a zombie, but not a swarm, because it only attacks the first zombie in the line, no matter what row it is.
Just
Though it
like
does attack
cactail.
every single row. So I'm saying okay flower to be honest. Because we're not focusing on one zombie, we're focusing on every single one.
Yeah, good point. Anyway, Shrinking Violet. This thing is very good. It basically shrinks a it shrinks a zombie to a smaller size, and it also one-shots imps. And if you combo it with another flower, you will get an unstoppable duo. Basically, reminding me of that one meme about hold on, what's like Einstein and Isaac Newton. Uh, hold let me just find it. I just had it. Ah, this one. Basically reminded me of this meme. Can you see it?
I'm trying to see it. Give me 1 minute. Uh, yeah, okay, I'm seeing it on your stream.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
basically comboing this with like the Daffodil, which we will talk about later. It's pretty OP, but alone it's still okay. It weakens the zombies, makes them smaller. Yeah, I would just say it's like a great flower plant because it shrinks zombies. What do you think?
Drinking Violet, the silver bullet of my run. Obviously, it shrinks zombies, making them weaker because it divides their health by half, which is great for bucketheads. But plus side, it also kills imps. Specifically, those dodo riding guys. They suck really badly. But I do agree that it's not OP, but it's a great flower.
Okay. Next up is a plant that I never really used because I didn't get to unlock it. Being the heart flower thing. I don't know what his name is. Her name is. What it does, it apparently is a pole flower. Is a pole flower plant like the other one, like the dust clobber. But what it does, it multiplies its damage the more it attacks a zombie, which is very strong. But I wouldn't know. I never used it, so I would probably put this thing in like, I don't know, okay tier, probably. What do you think?
Yeah, I also never used it. Didn't even know it existed.
Yeah. Anyway, next up, moving on to another flower plant that I never really use, a dandelion. So apparently dandelion sunflowers, even though this is like the seed part of the flower, but I didn't know because I thought that this flower just transformed into like a bunch of seeds and and I thought that didn't really count as a flower, but no, apparently I was wrong. Anyway, what this does, it creates a what it does, it shoots a small seed bomb at the zombie in one of the three lanes. But pairing this up with blower, or any kind of wind plant, and it can shoot like a bunch of seed plants at the zombies that also explode on impact. Plant food, it makes raining bomb seeds. So far, I would just say this thing is kind of a mid flower, to be honest, since I don't really see this flying seed bombs doing much damage.
Yeah, I never used it and probably never will.
Anyway, moving on.
And yeah, I agree.
Uh, all this, yada yada. Anyway, time for the fewest, like the only pea shooter that may or may not count as a flower, called the snap pea. And this one confuses a lot about me. Although it doesn't look like a flower, but it's also a little fusion between a pea shooter and a chomper, making snap pea. And like we said before, or I said, chomper is based off a Venus flytrap, which is apparently a flower. So don't know if it counts as a flower or not, so I'm just going to put it a maybe flower. Do you think it
I
deserves that?
agree. I have no idea what the heck it's supposed to be. Are you a pea shooter or a Venus flytrap? Pick one, not two.
Anyway, we got the dandelion. Wait. We got the dandelions. We got 1, 2, and 3. 1, it shoots one petal. Okay. So it kind of goes on like mid. But when it evolves into 2, it shoots like 2 petals, which does a bit more stronger, and creates a fog. And 3, we got the ultimate stalling plant. It can shoot fog and some 3 petals, which does draw damage. It's basically like Starlina, but better because it actually attacks. What do you think about the 3 dandelions?
Never used them, so I don't really know what they do. So I can't really say much about them.
Anyway, apparently this tea thing is a flower. Hold on. T PvZ2. Let's see, electric tea. Let's see, which apparently is a flower. And to be fair, I did not know tea is a flower. But other than that, since it's considered a flower, let's just get out of the way. It's kind of bad. Like, I never really used it during my flower one, but its only use is like electrocuting zombies, and when a zombie eats it, it just electrocutes it. But the electrocution isn't that great. If you want a flower plant that actually does good electric damage, use lightning weed. So, deserves in trash to you. What do you think about this tea?
Well, it's like the spring bean of flowers. It sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, putting you here, putting you here. Pokwa! Literally, I thought it would be a flower plant, but have a way using it. I got conflicted if it's a flower or not. Here. Pokwa, a flower. Let's see. Okra. Let's see. Cane. No, wait. What? I thought that. Hold on. Okay, Pokra, which is based off of okra. Now, if I search up okra, a flower, uh, AI generated Google says, oh yes, okra is a flower that is a beautiful edible. And so that's why I thought it was like a flower, because like Google says so. But also it says it's like a vegetable. So basically, I cannot decide if this plant is a flower or not. Because although it's a flowering plant, we all discovered that apparently most flowering plants aren't considered flowers. So I'm basically conflicted if this thing is a flower or not. But I'm saying it is because at one point, at one time, it was a flower. Which I guess that counts? I don't know. But I can't. Is this thing a flower or not?
I'm gonna say yes, so we don't have to do the run again.
Yes, yes. Anyway, Pokra is probably the OPest flower plant known to man. This lady saved my butt so many times. If I'm dealing with a horde wave of zombie, Pokra spam. If I'm dealing with a very strong zombie, Pokra spam. Literally, Pokra can not only strike through zombies, but also can create a little drill thing that drills through a bunch of zombies. And to top it off all, it also slows them down. Basically, I made this whole joke of saying me and Rose only using Pokra in like desperate measures at desperate times. So I'm putting this on OP. And if you literally search up Pokra on to YouTube, Playing for the Zombies Pokra, I bet 90% of them are just gonna be them talking about how OP it is. So, what's your opinion on Pokra?
Okra, the creation that even God was afraid to try out in battle. It is, well, very OP. Never used it though. But seeing your gameplay, I see that it does, I think, poison the zombies or something.
It
I don't
slows them
really know.
down.
Well, that's even better. Because, Plants vs. Zombies 2 is all about stalling. And
Yeah,
a Gargantuar spam for some reason.
yeah. Anyway, next up we got the Pyrovine. Basically, two jokes in one. It's both a vine and also placed, and it's also as TF2 made as Pyro. Anyway, what it does, you can place it over a plant. And also, and also before you say anything, Pyrovine. Uh, okay, boom. Hold on. Yada yada. Boom. Flower. It's based off the flame vine, which is basically a flower made from with vines on it. So what it does, you can place it over a plant. It creates a fire damage, and also it's a pretty good, okay flower, but it only works if a zombie gets close to it. And most of the time, it's I would just say put in like mid tier because though it can do like extra damage to the zombie, it's not its fire damage just only like little like constant chip damage, while the other flower plants are doing the most of the damage. I guess. Your opinion on Pyrovine?
You actually basically said everything I was going to say.
Ah. Anyway, bloom flower. Basically, uh, frost bloom, something bloom. I don't know. This thing is basically like the Plant for the Zombies 1 equivalent of iceberg of ice shroom. That's because it is. But a lot better because it also has a chance of turning a zombie into a literal block of ice that acts like a walnut. I would say this thing is like, I would put this in a great tier, maybe OP. Uh, actually, yeah, OP because it works like a ice shroom. What do you think about Ice Bloom?
I actually have never used Ice Bloom before, so I wouldn't know. So I'll just take your word for it and say it's OP.
Okay, anyway, artichoke. Because apparently an artichoke is a flower. Because when I realized that, I was like, wait, isn't artichoke stuff you eat? You could eat flowers? Because most of the time, I consider flowers are like one of the few plants that you can't eat because they taste terrible. But apparently, artichokes proved me wrong. Anyway, I thought this thing would work as homing thistle, where I can shoot home at a zombie. Apparently, I was wrong because unless I had like some sort of deja vu or something, or they just nerfed this thing, because I could have sworn that artichoke used to homing thistle against like home zombies, but no, it attacks the first zombie front. And although it's a good attacker with good damage, it also has a certain amount of seeds it can shoot, unless you like play, and you have to wait until it like reloads, which takes about like 5 seconds or something. And if you plant fruit, it does like a lot of damage, I guess. Personally, I don't know much how to put it, so I'm just gonna put it like a great flower plant. What do you think about artichoke?
Same thing as the ice bloom. Never really used it, and only really saw you use it in your
Yeah,
gameplay.
yeah.
Though I wasn't
Anyway,
really paying attention to that one.
yeah. Anyway, next up, Shine Vine. Basically, not like like Primal Sunflower isn't OP enough. Let's add in a Shine Vine to make its sun prediction even better. What it does, it not only over time it can like create sun, like a little bit of sun, but also can boost the sun production of sun producing plants, or most of them. And even if a zombie gets close enough to it, it could just flashbang the zombie and cause it to like produce like causing the zombie to stun. And not only that, it produces a little bit more sun every time when it flashbangs a zombie. So I would put this thing in like OP tier. What do you think about Shinefine? And let me guess, you haven't used it?
You were right on the money on that one.
Anyway, just putting here. I don't think that's a flower. Some of these I don't really know are flowers. Like, is this thing a flower? Like, it's a vine, but
No, it's
okay. Uh,
not.
okay.
Not all vines are flowers.
Ah, yeah, probably should have thought about it. Anyway, putting you here. Anyway, this thing, I don't really use it that much. I think if I like using it like a few times, what it does is like works as like a portable, uh, like a portable ice room. Where it does it like freezes the zombies and bounces them back as soon as you plant it. But after that, you have to wait for like gosh, who knows how long until it does that again. And if you plant for it, it just does that again. A great stalling plant, but takes a long time for it to do it again. So I'm just gonna put it an okay plant. What do you think about the?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never used it. Oh, I don't have an opinion on it.
yeah,
I'm starting to notice a trend on all these next upcoming flowers.
yeah. Maybe because most of them are basically stadium plants. And we're putting it here because I doubt rice. Wait, I swear, rice is a flower.
I don't think it is, but I don't really want it to be.
I think it's like a grass flower.
Eh, I'd say it doesn't count then.
Yeah, this is a different type of flower here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Rice bomb PvZ2. Sticky rice bomb is just plain old rice from wheat. Yeah, it's not a flower. It's grass maybe, but flower no. Anyway, this thing apparently is a flower. Have we all tried using it? And I thought it was like OP at first, like, oh my gosh, this thing can one-shot zombies. Apparently, I was wrong. I didn't read the almanac or whatever this thing does, but apparently it doesn't one-shot the zombies. It just sets them back in the start of the lane. Think of a kind of worse time warp. And that caused me the loss for it. So, you know, I would put this, I would just put this like a kind of bad tier. Because although pretty good if you want to send zombies in the back of your lane, that's only how good it is. And you never really used it, haven't you?
Nope.
Anyway,
Never used it. Ever.
uh, Gloomvine. Don't really know much information of this thing. You would think these things would be at least flowers, but apparently when I try looking at like the Plant for the Zombies wiki, it only says is, oh yeah, this thing is like a vine equivalent of a gloom shroom. And no, that's it. Great. So I'm just gonna put this thing as a maybe flower, but to be honest, it's a vine. And we always said it before, not all vines are flowers, so it's going in not flower.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daffodil. Uh, I'm just gonna. It's a good stalling flower plant, but you know what combos this flower even better? Comboing it with Shrieking
Finally.
Violet. With these two, it's literally the unstoppable duo, if I could just put them together. It's like the unstoppable duo. Shrinking Violet shrinks the zombie small. Daffodil blows away any kind of small plant. No, not plant. No. It only blows away imps or small zombies. And Shrinking Violet shrinks the zombies. So combining these two, we would get an unstoppable duo. That and it's basically like a blower, but it can actually stall and attack and all that. So I'm just gonna put in the Great Flower. You haven't used Daffodil or whatever?
Not to say that I haven't tried to unlock Daffodil actually, but no, I've not used it ever.
Biggest. P-Vine goes in here. Anyway, this thing is apparently a flower because it has the word flower in it. So Beach-All Bomb flower thing is the flower that I like to ship with like Doomshroom because of that a couple images fan art I saw. Anyway, what this does, it creates a beach ball, which when a zombie touches it, it blows up. And as you can see here, it can stack up to like 3 of it. And its plant food creates a giant doom shroom floaty, which explodes the entire lawn. I can see why people ship it with doom shroom now. Anyway, putting this in thing in like great tier, but not best because you had to constantly press it and move the beach balls into the lane, kind of giving me like basically one of those manual plants like cob, like that one cob corn thing for Plant for the Zombies 1, corn tank from Plant for the Zombies 1. What do you think about beach bomb balloon flower?
Explosions are cool, said someone probably. I don't really use this flower at all, considering I have never unlocked it. So, yeah, no opinion really.
Ah, uh, uh, what should we do with the beach balls?
Just put them in not flowers because they're beach balls, but they're actually bombs.
Yeah. Although we are manually letting it place the beach balls in it, it kind of gets a pass because it's created by a flower. So technically, we're not the one causing the beach balls. It's that thing. Anyway, uh, this thing it's a homing. It's basically a great instant use plant because apparently this thing can kill a gog and a whole world's zombies, and it's very OP. It just put it at OP. Your opinion on that flower?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You never used it, so it. My opinion is just like my chances of ever using Puff Shroom. Basically zero.
Yeah. Anyway, next up, broccoli, which apparently is a flower, which I did not know. You would think that if the the cauliflower's like green cousin would if I knew that realized cauliflower was a flower, then I would knew it was like green cousin be a flower, but guess not. But anyway, to realize it, it's basically a stalling plant, but it's kind of a mix. It's like a combination of a stalling and a defense plant, which is good. Depend in a way, yes, but You know what? Hold on. How much help does this thing got? Broccoli, PvZ2. Uh, let's see. Broccoli, sun cost, recharge, toughness, 60 sun. And how much does a walnut have? Walnut. Probably should have said PvZ2. Hold on. PvZ2. Wait. So you tell me this thing has less health than broccoli. Wait, how much health does tall nut have then? Like,
Don't know.
uh, PvZ2. Okay, so basically this thing's like between walnut and tall nut, which but also can like stun the zombies. So I would say this thing's like put this thing in like a great flower. Same thing with his plant food because actually the plant food gives it extra health, so I would put this plant food in OP. Actually, I have an idea of what to do with the beach balls. Let me just create a row. No way. Actually, let me just delete this row. Create a row above. Flower. There we go. Apparently, beach balls are being created by a flower, so it goes in a created by a flower tier.
Well, with that logic, shouldn't the puff shroom, fuse shroom, hypno shroom, and toad shroom technically also be placed in that tier, considering they also made by, witch hazel?
Oh yeah, good point. But only these. But I'm only. But to make it fair, let's just put only Pushroom and the Toadstool in there, because the other two are only be created if you level up Witch Hazel, which we are not allowed to do, because screw leveling up. Am I right?
Yeah, I need those coins to buy plant food.
Yeah. Anyway, next up we got Buttercup, which, in the joke, it creates butter, which is basically this thing basically is a stalling plant, but also is cheap enough to be like a walnut. I would say this is like a great flower because although buttering the zombies is pretty good to stall, it doesn't have a health of a walnut. I think. Hold on. Buttercup PvZ2. And yeah, it doesn't. Wait, damage? Yeah, it doesn't. Wait, damage it can deal is like 100 with the butter. Yeah, forget it. It doesn't have enough as like a walnut, so basically kind of works as a walnut, but apparently a lot cheaper for 25 sun. Should it go to great tier or OP then? Actually, if it would be OP, it would have the same health as a walnut, which it doesn't, so it sticks in great. What do you think about Buttercup? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Uh,
Oh,
you're,
right, it's my turn for the opinion
yeah, I
thingy.
was.
My
Yeah,
bad.
it's okay. It's okay.
I was I was thinking of where my notes were. All right, Buttercup. This plant. So yeah, um, it's there. I don't have this plant. Probably never will. And it has butter in the name. How creative.
Yeah, maybe someone should do a only butter plant one. Like only use
Oh
plants
yes.
to butter up zombies.
Yeah, only Colonel Pope and Buttercup, I believe.
And that
Unless there
one,
are more, but I'm not.
actually, there's two other ones being this bomb butter thing and this butterhead, which I should. Oh, this thing, which apparently pants like a dog. kind of reminds me of a dog because it pants a
Oh
lot.
yeah, that thing. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Anyway, next up, meteor flower, because apparently flowers can create meteors. I would say this is a very strong OP plant, but the only downside is you cannot control what the meteors go to. I'm pretty sure some Plant Zombies 2 mods made it so that you can actually control where the meteors go to, but we're going with the base game Plant vs. Zombies. And I would say it's a great flower, not OP, because you cannot control the meteors. But also I heard from like a rumor that meteor flower actually when you plant fruit it scares away like the dinosaurs, which is a cool hint and neat hint. The fact that how the dinosaurs died by a meteor. Kinda dark, but who cares? Meteor flower, great tier. Your opinion on meteor flower?
Well, it's a flower. It shoots rocks. It's a worse banana launcher thing, and yeah, it's a very high sun cast as well. I saw you used it in the beginning of the run. I
Yeah,
saw you never used it again after that.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. No opinion, because like I don't have it, and I never will.
Anyway, this cactus bunny thing. Apparently he has a flower because of one flower thing on his head. It, have I ever used it? No, I haven't. Uh, have I thought about using it? No, I kind of forgot about it exists. And what it does, it's like a melee attacker, and it hits like zombies with his ears. I don't know much about it. Hold on. I gotta see. Hold on. Uh, bunny. I gotta see if I gotta watch like see if like ah, it's called Bunchy.
Introducing the Bunchi, the newest addition to the Plants vs. Zombies 2 family.
Oh, I
This
get it,
fierce
because it's a
enforcement
bunny and a
cactus plant
cat. Oh
packs
my
a
God,
punch
that's
as it
so
deals
clever.
melee damage and grows stronger with every attack. But be warned, its strength is not to be underestimated. After 5 consecutive attack
probably
sequences,
got a promotion from that plan idea.
Yeah, maybe because it's like to celebrate Bunny's Day or something. I don't know.
the Bunchi will bloom and be ready to unleash its ultimate thunderclap attack. Simply click on the Bunchi to unleash a high damage wave, but act
Oh.
fast before it expires.
Okay, so basically this plant is after watching Zach Scott's like short video, I'm just gonna put this thing in like a maybe a flower because at one point, at one time, it doesn't have a flower. So that means it becomes a flower. The more attacks make it even stronger, but over time it loses the flower ability, making it weaker. So that proves not only proves that flowers are OP and strong, but also that shows that this plant may or may not be a flower because it becomes a flower and then it doesn't.
It loses the flower. How shameful! This thing should be executed immediately.
But for now, it should be at maybe a flower. With the other plants that may or may not be flower. Uh, I don't know if this thing's a flower or not. A buzz beet or something. Probably not.
Just put it in not flower all
Yeah.
day.
Okay, this thing apparently is a flower. And what it does, it shoots this little guys at like the zombie at the last row, which is very weird because usually most plants shoot at the first zombie, but this one does the unique approach of only attacking the zombie in the last row. So I'm just gonna put this thing in like kind of bad because we're focused on the first zombie that's gonna eat your face, not the very last one of the line. Your opinion on this flower plant?
Never used it, so I don't have one.
Yeah, fair.
Sorry.
And then we get to the worst types of flowers. Speaking of terrible flower, we got this flower thing, which is probably the worst type of flower known to man. Mainly for its whole reason, its only usefulness is in Big Ray Beach. And even when you use it in Big Ray Beach, it isn't that good. It attacks in like 3 lanes, and I remember seeing like a YouTube video of like this guy who's a Plant for Zombies fan and goes over bad level designing At one of the lovely events, I was only using this flower plant, and that's it. And it took them multiple tries to win. So I would say this plant is is a trash flower. And I bet its plant food doesn't even kill a buckethead. And it probably doesn't. But its water ability, when if it goes into water, it would just go into kind of bad. Your opinion on this terrible flower?
Well, yeah. It sucks.
Yeah. Why did PopCap make this flower?
I
Anyway,
don't know, money hungry?
yeah, probably. I mean, that's why they gave us nostalgia bait like Scaredy Shroom. And it looks like Scaredy Shroom.
Yeah. Nightcap and I think Ice Shroom as well.
Yeah.
I think they're bringing back Doom Shroom as well.
Oh, yeah, they have. And they made it work like a sun shroom. Anyway,
Oh.
moving on. Anyway, forget about the mushrooms. Today we're talking about flowers. And next up is the maybe flower. Get it? Because it has bees. It's literally called maybe. Hold on. Is it actually called maybe?
What? It is. Maybe so, maybe not.
Yeah, it's a flower plant. What it does, it gets the bees to attack the zombies. And I heard there's a special combo with like certain electric plants where it can even electrify the bees to deal more damage. But most of the time is basically, as you can see here, it creates like bees to attack the zombies. But other than that, it's probably just gonna go into. But I haven't really used it that much. And I think when I have, it doesn't do much damage. So I'm just gonna put this in. Actually, I'm just gonna put this in mid because I don't know much about it. Your opinion on this maybe flower plant?
Well, this may be flower plant, may be a flower, but may it be, it won't be used for me because I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I've not used it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Who knows? Probably not, though.
Anyway, a plant that I looked over not being a flower, which turns out it is, bamboo shoot. Apparently, bamboo is a flower. Bamboo, a flower. Is bamboo a flower? Yes, bamboo is a flowering plant. And we don't know if flowering plants consider as flowers or not. So would you take it safe and put it a maybe flower?
Sure. Pretty. Bamboo sucks. I mean, yeah, bamboo's not really a flower. It doesn't look like it, but could be. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be not as close to maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, next up we got the worst sun producer known to man. You know what's this thing is almost worse as a sun shroom, considering sun shroom is not a flower plant. But since this flower plant is a flower, we had to use it. And this thing is terrible. It drains the zombie's health and produces like sun from it. But there's multiple reasons why this thing is bad. For one, when it tingles a zombie, it makes the zombie literally invincible. Hold on, let me just. It makes the zombie. Okay, finally I got the meme to use. Anyway, it makes the zombie, well, which causes the plants to not be able to kill it. Even then, it can't even one-shot the weakest of zombies. Except for chicken zombies, I think. I don't know, I never really used it against a chicken wrangler zombie. But it only drains some help just for a little bit of sun. For goodness sake, if you want to use a sun producer that badly, use a sunflower! Don't use this plant. Put this thing straight to garbage. You go. What do you think about this fake, terrible flower plant?
Mango flower. The flower that makes Sunbeam look good for some reason.
Yes.
Why does this need to exist? No idea. Do we like it? Of course not. It sucks. I would never even use it even if I had unlocked it.
Straight to trash. Anyway, fruit dragons, because apparently dragon. At some point, I thought dragon fruit was a flower. Hold on. Dragon fruit a flower? Question mark. Is dragon fruit a flower? Apparently not. I kind of thought it did. Like it said it was a
It's not,
flowering plant.
but
Which,
it looks like a flower. So, under our rules, it's allowed.
yeah. So I would say this thing is a very good flower plant. Okay, his baby kind of goes into okay. What it does is shoots. It's a pulting plant, but power, which doesn't, which can poison a zombie. But powered by the moonflower, it poisons the zombie even longer. I guess. I think I don't know. But you know, but I would say I used this plant many times, especially the three-headed one, which I let it attack like multiple zombies. And I would put this. Let's see. I would just put the normal baby at okay, the shadow baby and the three-headed at great flowers, and the three-headed shadow power would be an OP flowers. What do you think about the dragon fruit?
Dragon fruit is cool. It's also shadow plant for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining. I also have never used this, and probably never will, considering my version of the game is outdated, meaning I will probably never get the newer flowers.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Very
scared
well.
of my data getting deleted.
Oh, that's fair. It happened to me a couple of times when my app got updated, and but I was able to
Yeah,
get my account back like a few
I
times.
was I was hoping that you wouldn't give up because of that.
Yeah,
I probably would have.
but I wouldn't. Anyway, next up we got this thing, which I made a poll saying that is this a flower or not. Some said it isn't, and I'm still a bit skeptical if this pitcher plant a flower or not. Is it a flower?
I don't, I don't think so,
Yeah,
personally.
I'm just gonna put this as not a flower because most of the people who voted in my poll said it isn't. Anyway, this spider flower, it's apparently a flower. And what it does, it creates like these things, which when actually it attacks a zombie with a web, and when the zombie dies, it turns into this thing, which blows up. I would say this is a cool flower plant. So I put this in like I would say a gray tier, but if it doesn't have, but apparently this one says if the spider plant doesn't create it, I'm just gonna put the one that doesn't create it in okay flower, and I'm gonna put this thing in created by a flower because that's what it is. What do you think about the spider flower thing?
You know, one thing about spiders is that they are spiders, and they have 8 legs. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but considering I never have ever seen, heard, or ever will use this flower, because my app is outdated, I have no opinion on this one.
Yeah. Anyway, next up we got fire leaf, which apparently is a flower once I Google it. And I thought this flower looked amazing. I thought this flower was amazing. It's kind of this whole edgy attitude. It has fire abilities. Kind of reminds me about Ready, or or one of the other OCs that Landa made. But it's plant food. It's very good. It's just the animation is terrible. Like it creates a fire rain around it, but the animation is so bad you can tell that editing with animation skills kind of hitting rock bottom. But other than that, I would say this is a great flower. You won't have much opinion because it hasn't updated. Your game hasn't updated. Uh, any word on this fire flower thing?
I mean, you probably already know what I'm going to say. No,
Yes.
I've never used this plant in my life, and probably never will, because I'm too scared of data loss and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's there, I guess.
Anyway, next up we got the two flowers that have split mood. We got the happy ice flower and angry fire flower. And the best part, these two is basically like it works like Snapdragon and Ice Dragon, but you can like choose which one you want to pick the flower attack. Do you want to heat up the competition? Pick the flower one. Do you want to freeze your zombies in literal ice cubes? Pick the ice one. And this plant food is basically uh, spins around the attack round. Basically, just breathes both fire and ice at the same time, and it's called Frostbite. Basically, adding the third character with fire ice abilities, right next to that one character from My Hero Academia and Icy Hot. Anyway, I would just put the fire variant in like a great tier, and put the ice variant in like OP tier, just like the other, like the Snapdragons. Anyway, grass lily, which snake lily, which I consider a flower because it has the word lily on it, and I thought it was a flower. Anyway, what it does, it turns zombies into zomboids. But as you can, hold on, uh, can it create that? Probably not. Uh, Actually, I wouldn't put this into like created by a flower because it specifically says that this zomboid groundhog created by a zomboid being and not a snake lily. But anyway, snake lily, what it does, it creates a small tornado that turns zombies into zomboids. I don't know if this would. I would say this plant would be pretty great. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I'm guessing I'm taking like control here because you don't know what much of these plants do. Anyway,
I mean,
rosebush.
really is pretty cool, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, rosebush. Basically, Rose's daughter. And I really like this plant. Basically, it works like a spikeweed, but better. Because not only this thing can slow down zombies without doing the chilling effect, but also it works like Puffshroom, where if you plant food one of them, it plant foods the entire lane. And to even make it even better, it helped me with one of the hardest levels known to man. In the last level, where you had not only had to protect the flowers, but you also had to deal with an enormous amount of zombies and there's a golf cart around or something. This thing saved my butt in that one. So for that, I bestow you into not just OP tier, but to your own tier. At above, I'm just, uh, I'm gonna name you Rose and make you one red. I'm gonna put you in your own tier being Rose tier.
Yeah.
It's a very great plant.
Rosebush. Uh, I actually do know a little bit about this one. Rosebush, a plant that is basically spiderweed but better. It is also kind of a mushroom. Also, I could be wrong about this, but I heard if you place it on endangered flowers from the line of flowers they have to protect from zombies or something, if you place it on top of it, zombies do not trample the flowers, which is pretty cool, I guess.
Exactly.
Also,
Because you were saying.
yeah, I was saying, but now you can talk.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that you were right on that because we met at the level that gave me most trouble on. This flower literally saved my life. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah. Also, Rosebush is the probable child of the one flower plant Rose
Rose.
character that appears sometimes. I
You
don't
mean Rose?
I don't know if that's canon, but
Uh, I
probably.
like the head canon it is. Anyway, this thing. I don't know if this is a flower or not. I don't even know its name. Hold on.
Put it in maybe flower.
Hold on, I'm doing some research. Plan for designs to Reiki. Let's check out the recent flowers.
Wait, is that cop cannon? Like behind next to that one did they bring Cobb Cannon back? Wow, nostalgia.
Apparently they
Am I
did,
right?
but they kind of shrunken it and made it so that it shoots out like rainbow corn. It's actually a
Okay.
which okay. Let's see. Hold on. Plant list. Uh, plant for zombies plants. Let me just scroll all the way down. Scroll a little bit more. It's called a hammer root. Ham root, which is
Does
base.
not sound like a flower.
Doesn't even look
Just
like a
saying.
flower. It's a hammer orca. Yeah, hold on.
Let's just put it in maybe flower and move on.
Flower. Yes, ham root is a flower, but it doesn't really look like one. So I'm just gonna put a baby flower with the other weird things. Anyway, corn, not a flower. This thing is like Snapdragon. Kind of looks like a flower, but it's also kind of an abomination. Even worse
What?
one. Apparently, this CP lore, is that Crazy Thief leaves like a three-peater or a pea shooter or whatever into a pool with a lily pad, like way too long, and when he came back, it transformed into whatever the heck this is. What it does, you can place it into both water, but also on land, but it makes a water spot. Okay? And what it does, it shoots like peas in three different directions, like three-peater, but only instead of like three entire lanes, it's just like literally three directions, and not following the lane. I'm just gonna put this out of maybe a flower right next to Snapdragon. I bet they would be great
Yeah,
buddies.
it's a very weird abomination.
Anyway, next up the last two flowers, because brainstem is a flower. I literally searched it up, and I literally searched up is brainstem's like based off, and it literally said it based off a brain. I was like, yeah, no, duh, but like, what flower pot is it? But what about the flower pot? Apparently, there's no flower pot. It's literally just the brain, and it's called brain stem because there's a stem part of the brain. Anyway, next up we got Devour Bloom, which is basically like a pretty worse Squash if like Squash and Champa had a baby, and this baby is only attacks like one zombie, but it can one shot literally attack any kind of zombie except for Gogs. And I'm just gonna put this as a mid flower because this basically looks like a Squash, but a bit more expensive, and it can and instead of like attacking multiple zombies, its only good use is to prevent like chicken wrangler zombies and weasel zombies to like summon a bunch of chickens and weasels, which is the very few plants that can actually do that. I'm just gonna put this in mid. And now, last but not least, we got
No idea what
Sour Shot. Because,
power shot.
yeah, apparently
Wow.
this tier list hasn't been updated. Wait, can I add one? Holy crap, I can add one. Good, because there's a new flower plant that let's see, let me just,
Oh, really?
yeah,
I'm not.
hold
I don't
on,
really actively follow anymore, so
let me
I'm
see,
kind of.
wait, I thought there was a new plant that would be added, like a lemon thing. Hold
I
on,
think that was a very flourished one, but I could be wrong.
hold on. Uh, lemon PvZ2. Uh, no, there was a different lemon one. Uh, this one. Uh, this is a lemon aid. Uh, not that. Looks weird. Oh, apparently it's an upcoming plant that hasn't been released yet. I thought it has. Huh. Odd. Anyway, just gonna ignore
Oh,
that for now. Anyway, next up we
that's a
got
lemon.
S-
No,
uh,
that's a
s-
the first one.
yeah, it's a different one. Anyway, next up we got, last but not least, Sour Shot, which basically looks like a bloomerang, and it looks like blue wang or repeater, It it does this thing. It can do knockback like Primal P should have, but the only downside is that zombies need to be very, very, very close to it, close and personal, for it to attack. By that logic, I'm just gonna put you in mid. Because I am not waiting until a zombie literally touches you so it can just go gun blazing it, knock you back. I want my zombies dead now. Anyway, sorry that most of the some of the plants you can't like give you information of it for like the last ones. But this is our tier list.
Yo, most goated and very accurate tier list ever. Best one ever.
Let me just
And
see.
no one's ever thought of doing this ever before. Nope. And if
Yep.
they did, then they copied us, obviously.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me in this collab of ranking every single flowers. Let me just download this image and save
It
it.
was really fun. I
Yeah, it
had a
was.
lot of fun doing this. This was really something I was actually looking forward to, considering the other thing I was looking forward to eventually got canceled.
Oh, I'm so sorry that happened.
Yeah. It's all right. It'll happen eventually. Yeah, next year.
Anyway,
Oh well.
so do we just end the stream here?
Well, I mean, we can just talk about like Plants vs Zombies or for like a minute or something, and then we can go. Guys, if you're watching this, please subscribe to this man. He deserves it.
Thank you, and please subscribe to uh, to MaxyLucky too. He also deserves it, but deserves it the most since he's still dealing with uh, the dinosaur place, Jurassic Marsh, and its dumb
Yeah.
levels with the constant.
My goal now is to get Meteor Flower to hope for that it actually works. That one thing that the who killed the dinosaurs. Oh yeah, it was the Ice Age or something.
It wasn't the Ice Age; it was the meteors.
Yeah, I know. It was a joke.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and
Yeah, thank you.
see y'all next time. Bye.
Yeah, rewatch stream